How not to be clever. "You foreigners are so clever," a woman said to me some years ago. I know many foreigners who are stupid. I thought she was being kind, but not quite honest. Now I know that she was not being kind. These words showed that she did not like foreigners. Look at the word clever in any English dictionary. These dictionaries say clever means quick, intelligent. These are nice adjectives, but the dictionaries are all a little out of date. A modern Englishman uses the word clever to mean possibly a bit dishonest, un-English, un-Scottish, un-Welsh. In England, it is bad manners to be clever or proud of your intelligence. Perhaps you know that 2 and 2 make 4, but you must never say that 2 and 2 make 4. The Englishman is shy and quiet. He does not show that he is clever. He uses few words, but he says a lot with them. A European, for example, looks at a beautiful place and says, "This place looks like Utrecht, where a war ended on the 11th of April, 1713. The river over there is like the Guadalquivir in the Sierra de Cazorla and is 650 kilometers long. It runs southwest to the Atlantic Ocean." Rivers. What does so-and-so say? Did I tell you about... You cannot speak like this in England. An Englishman looks at the same place. He is silent for 2 or 3 hours, and then he says, "It's pretty, isn't it?" An English girl, of course, understands it is not clever to know if Budapest is the capital city of Romania, Hungary, or Bulgaria. It is so much nicer to ask when someone speaks of Barbados, Banska Bystrica, or Fiji, "Oh, those little islands, are they British?" Once they usually were. How to be rude. It is easy to be rude in Europe. You just shout and call people animal names. To be very rude, you can make up terrible stories about them. In England, people are rude in a very different way. If somebody tells you an untrue story, in Europe you say, "You are a liar, sir." In England, you just say, "Oh, is that so?" Or, "That's quite an unusual story, isn't it?" A few years ago, when I knew only about 10 words of English and used them all wrong, I went for a job. The man who saw me said quietly, "I'm afraid your English is a bit unusual." In any European language, this means, "Kick this man out of the office." 100 years ago, if somebody made the Sultan of Turkey or the Tsar of Russia angry, they cut off the person's head immediately. But when somebody made the English Queen angry, she said, "We are not amused." And the English are still, to this day, very proud of their Queen for being so rude. Terribly rude things to say are, "I'm afraid that..." "How strange that..." and "I'm sorry, but..." You must look very serious when you say these things. It is true that sometimes you hear people shout, "Get out of here!" or "Shut your big mouth!" or "Dirty pig!" etc. This is very un-English. Foreigners who lived in England hundreds of years ago probably introduced these things to the English language.